This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Consider supporting us on Patreon.
Yo, 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 yo. What is up, everybody out there on the YouTube Zors? It's your good buddy Papa Tikyo, coming to you live from a quite cold winter Tokyo today. Yeah, if you notice already, there's something missing in this video that has not been here, or that's not here. That's here in every Tkyorants video, which is a mirror, specifically the left mirror right here. Yeah, Spaghetti. I leaned him against the wall the other day when I went to go run an errand, and I didn't realize that all the pressure and weight was being put on the fucking mirror on this side. And these mirrors, they work by having this pull thing connect to the handlebar, and then there's like a little socket like a pop socket or something that these are connected to, and just the mirror completely popped out of the socket. And before going and buying another mirror, I thought I'd try to salvage it. I mean, that's one of the nice things about living with other people, is that you know, a lot of people are handy, and everyone, especially at my guest house, everyone's kind of got a, you know, what is it, jack of all trades, master of none. You know, we've got enough guys who can fix a mirror socket at least, you know, pretty good. But yeah, anyway, before I start up everything, let's give a shout out to the sponsors of today's video. Nakano Shimbashi Guest House. Boom. Yeah, guys, look, whether you're coming to Japan for vacation or trying to start your life in Japan, what better way to do it than by saving money? And what's the best way to save money and have a good time? It's by staying at Nakano Shimbashi Guest House here, right next to Shinjuku. And it's less than $400 a month, and you get to live with Japanese people, and the benefits are just awesome. So if you're looking for a place to stay and you want my suggestion, it's always going to be Nakano Shimbashi Guest House. Links down below. When you make the reservation, tell them that Papa Tikyo sent you. Also, make sure that you're protecting yourself. You know, antiviruses only can do so much, as well as malware, anti-malware software. So make sure you're protected and sign up for a VPN, specifically NordVPN, and use Papa Tikyo's promo code down below to get a big discount on your first account with Nord, and you're also helping me out. So yeah, and also big shout out to the patrons over on patreon.com/TikyoSam. Without you guys, I would not be making any money. Google AdSense pays absolute shit, and I appreciate every single one of you guys who come over there, whether it's $1 or $50 or $500. Love you guys' faces. Anyway, I just came from this building, the Parco building, the Matsuzakaya building. I never actually go shopping in this department shop. I only come here for the cinema that's from the 7th floor all the way up to the, I don't know, one of the other floors. And yeah, today I'm coming home. As you can see, I'm wearing my business suit, but I'm wearing my vest, my nice warm vest, on top of my business suit because it is cold. And this vest is nice and warm, and I don't know what the fuck it's made out of, but it's made out of comfy and warm. It insulates really well, and is baggy, so it droops over my fat body like a glove, like a very loose glove, loose warm glove. But man, I feel naked without my fucking mirror here. I'm always used to checking, like, I had no, like, it just is one of those things where you forget about it, you know? And I forgot how much, like, I use these mirrors. I never look over my shoulder. I always just trust the mirrors or just look to the side. But because this guy is gone, I'm having to, like, leech over, like, you know, like, like, twist a complete 45 degrees. 45? 90 degrees. 90 degrees to go and look if anyone's coming up on my left side. I've almost gotten hit twice since riding around without this mirror. I got to remember to fix it. But yeah, question of the day. Oh shit, I forgot to do question of the day. Question of the day is, You know, do you feel old? Or a question is, how do you feel old? You know, like what are certain feelings that make you feel like, you know, toshi totta na, like, man, I'm getting older, you know? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're young, what's something you hate about what older, I don't think anybody young watches my shit, but if you are young, tell me, what do you hate about like the older generation saying when they're like, oh man, you're young, you don't know anything, or whatever. Let me know in the comments down below, because I don't know, I'm going to talk about today like what happened to me, and then just like what happened recently. Don't worry, nothing bad happened. I just want to talk about what's been going on with me recently, and you know, today, and why I decided to make this rant. Well, first off, first off, I'd like to point out how much of an engineer I am at cheap convenience. I have these motorcycle gloves that I wear in summer, right? You guys have probably seen them in a lot of my videos. Usually I put like these gloves over my bike in winter so that my hands can stay warm, and like, you know, it's good to, like, if it's rainy or cold, like it blocks that first or whatever. But I took them off during this summer this year, and so I took them off during summer, and I just didn't put them back on because I left them in my saddlebags, and they were all kind of old and moldy, and you know, they were just not really bueno, you know. I washed them and stuff, and like, you know, I got new shoelaces for them, but I just didn't bother to put them on because it just became cold all of a sudden, you know. It just kind of became cold. Like, that's the thing that sucks about seasons changing, is that they just suddenly change, you know. They just suddenly change, and like there's no gradual change. It just goes from like you know, 15 degrees a night all the way down to 5 degrees a night, you know. But luckily, I mean, like, you know, I grew up in very cold places, so I'm very fortunate to have the experience of feeling what real cold feels like. Well, I mean, like, you know, even that cold compared to that town in Siberia where like you like throw water and it turns into icicles immediately or something. Like, that's a cold that I have never imagined, and I don't want to imagine. Fucking A, dude. It's like suicide. But yeah, you know, but it is cold, and one of the things I'm really proud of is that they have these cheap insulated mittens at the 100 yen store, so like $1 each, and I just bought 2 of them, but they don't have a grip on them. They don't have grip for the motorcycle. So what I did was, luckily, these motorcycle gloves that I bought off like Alibaba for like $8 really stretch, and they're nice and they fit well enough. So yeah, it's very convenient. This is like the most comfortable I've ever felt with gloves in Japan, because like these gloves are kind of windproof, and these mittens are just super warm and insulated. So I thought it was green, but it wasn't. Whew. But anyway, Husenberg. Yeah, so what I did today was, like, you know, I'm filming this in 2021 in December. Today is December 12th, maybe 11th. It's already 20 days until my birthday. I'm gonna be 35 this year, and next year, in June, it's gonna be a while since I've been in Japan. Holy shit, almost 20 years. Well, I mean, almost getting to 20 years. And so it's just you know, it's been a crazy ride so far. Not to say that it's over, but it's just like, man, it felt like that time just flew by so quickly. And you know, today I'm out with like right now in my life, because I'll probably release this video way down the line. I mean, I have videos queued up from next year. I'm moving all the Tkyorants to second channel. Well, I have about 4 channels right now. No, 5 maybe. I've got the Tkyo Samboan, Quartering Japan, Tkyo Karaoke, and Tkyo Plays. And from this year, I made a new channel because I didn't want to just relabel an old channel. And I have a new channel called ADVJapan. And a fan pointed out the other day that he's like, man, you stole quartering from the quartering for quartering Japan. Now you're stealing ADV China's ADV. And I'm like, well, technically they stole that from a forum that was ADV bikes or whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I feel like it's not stealing, it's like homage, you know, like I'm paying respect to these guys who I really respect and who are successful. So I don't see it as stealing. And plus, they're never going to live in Japan. So who better to represent them than me, you know? A badass guy. Yeah, anyway, so but from next year I'm going to be I'm going to be uploading those rants from now on. They're going to be less of a priority. Instead of 2 rants per week, it's going to be 1 rant per week on that channel. And then my main channel is going to be mostly just videos about me and life and all this stuff, because even though the rants are great for monetization, I mean, sometimes, like, if I get a good topic, a good juicy topic, you guys will fucking eat it up and I can get some good Google AdSense money out of it. But other times it sucks. In fact, most of the time it sucks. So, you know, that's a big choice for me, moving those rants over to another channel. But, you know, I've had a lot of discussion with a couple higher big YouTuber friends of mine, and they're just like, dude, those rants, they're more of like an ego jerk off than like you know, you say you want to be big on YouTube, and you're never going to be big on YouTube making 30-minute plus videos of you on a motorcycle, HD quality motorcycle, just rambling on in Tokyo. And so I accept that, and yeah, that's why I'm moving them. I'm not going to move the ones that are already on my channel, because I can just put them into a playlist and put that on the ADV Japan channel. But from now on, all the videos are going to go there, and I'm going to focus on making more hard-hitting, higher quality, shorter videos. Of what? I don't really know yet, but it's going to get views. The whole goal will be to get views and make money. And community and people be damned, because why? And it's like, well, I've been at this long enough that it's like, no, I don't need the ego stroke. I was watching another YouTuber recently that I used to know, without going into details, that I used to know. And this guy, he's delusional. You know, he's got something wrong with his head, I think, mentally. And I don't mean that in like a mean, bullying way. I mean, like, there is something wrong. There's something off with him. And this guy's been doing YouTube just as long as I've been doing it, but he gets maybe 30 views to a couple hundred views per video. And the guy, like, every couple videos, he just whines about his mental health, and then he'll rebrand his channels. He'll private videos, then make them public. You know, he'll move his videos around other channels, and he never takes any advice. He's not a good-looking guy. He puts his ugly fat face in every fucking thumbnail. And, you know, the thing is that you can be ugly, you can be fat, but you gotta have a personality, or at least be charming or charismatic, or, like, you know, educational. But this guy is just, he's got nothing. He's got nothing. And you know, me and a bunch of other people have given him advice, and he just always does the same thing. And it's because there's maybe like 5 people that watch his stuff regularly who, like, kind of enable him, and they're like, yeah, man, this is great, good job. And the guy obviously doesn't have any friends, you know. He doesn't have any friends, and the reason why is because if he, you know, in the past when he's had real friends and they told him this information, like me, when I told him that, like, he's just like, he won't listen. And it's not like, I think this is good advice. It's like, no, me and a majority of other really big YouTubers think this is good advice, you know. Like, don't put your fat, ugly face in the thumbnail. Don't just make videos talking about your depression. You know, you're in Japan. Go out and film stuff, you know, etc., etc. And the guy's just so scared about getting out of his bubble, you know? He's scared about something, but also he's content. You know, he's one of those guys who's like, I do YouTube as a hobby, but then he complains about getting no views and having a low subscriber subscriber number, and that he's a loser on YouTube, right? And it's like, it's just walking contradiction, man. And so it's like, I was talking to one of my friends about it recently, and he decided to he's like, there's two kinds of YouTube videos, dude. And this is a friend of mine who's had a bunch of viral videos. And he's like, dude, like, there's two kinds of videos. There's the ego, stroking your ego's dick video. And then there's videos that get the views. And I was like, yeah, but I want to be, like, genuine and stick to my community. And he's like, well, what does the community get you? And I'm like, I don't know, maybe $1,000 to $3,000 a month. And he's like, yeah, but what about growth? I was like, well, it's steady. And he's like, dude, I've been watching your channel for a while, man. Oh shit! Damn it! Never mind. God damn it! I can't look all the way back behind me because of this helmet, so I don't know who's on this side or not. But anyway, he's you know, my friend was basically saying like I'm kind of a bigger version of that guy, and not like putting my face cringy in thumbnails kind of thing, but it's like, dude, like you need to stop just talking shit or get off the pot kind of thing, you know. And you know, that talking with him and a couple of other my big YouTuber friends made me be like, yeah, you know, I gotta take the rants off the channel. I gotta play ball, you know. And you know, it just made me think. It's just like, you know, I'm getting older. I'm getting older, and I'm getting old, and I watched a movie today about two middle-aged gay men, two Japanese middle-aged gay men living together in West Tokyo, and just like a movie that I guess is like the ending movie to a live drama series that is based off a comic book. And I had no context going into this movie except I have a rule. You know, since I've been in Japan, my rule is whenever I go to a movie in a movie theater, I don't go and I don't watch American or I don't watch non-Japanese movies. And there's a couple of big reasons for that. But the big one is that, you know, I'm spoiled. I grew up in America, so despite all the bad shit about America, America has kick-ass movie theaters. Well, when you're not getting shot up in Arvada by the Joker. But, you know, America has great movie theaters. They got great food. The screens are really big. The sound is loud and just, it's so good. But Japanese movie theaters are very small. They're very small, and sometimes, like more than half the time, they don't even have butter popcorn, you know? So it's like, why would I go and experience an American movie in like a shittier format? You know, fuck it. I'll just wait till it comes online and then I'll stream it or whatever, you know? And so, yeah, because of that, I always go and watch Japanese movies. Plus, it gives me something to talk to Japanese people, and also I go because I want to see how much of the movie I can understand, to kind of test my Japanese. Luckily, I understood like almost I'd say 98% of that movie. It was good. To be fair, there wasn't a lot of different stuff going on that was like too complicated. But, you know, I'm watching this and I'm seeing these like middle-aged dudes. And by middle-aged, I mean like probably mid-40s, late 40s. And they're older than me. And it's just like these two guys, they're gay, but they're established in their careers, you know, and one of them's a lawyer, the other one's a beautician, and they both really love each other and just like, and they live with each other. And you know, Japan's not like America. America is just so like, it makes me angry because it's like everything, like, you know, back in the day when they would have like a gay character or like minorities character or something in movies, like usually it would like they would hit the point home most of the time, even if it was a shitty B-roll movie. Like it always seemed like it was it always seemed good. Like, you know, I remember watching like something about like, you know, something like, man, there's not enough black representation in Hollywood, and then right afterwards I watched like fucking Lethal Weapon, and then it's like, wait a second, the one of the main characters is black and their boss, the lieutenant in that movie, is black. And then I was like, I thought of all these cop movies that I've watched, And I'm like, wait a second. Like, a lot of these movies, there's always somebody black who's like a really high-powered person, like a cop or like a police captain or a judge or something like that. And I'm like, dude, like, that's not on purpose. They're like giving it respect. But now it's just like all these people, like, whenever I see anything America, it's just like they're forcing shit down your throat. And it's just like, you know, like, the thing is that if you make a shitty movie because you're trying to quote unquote make a message, like, I don't care if you have a trans or gay person or a minority quote unquote as a main character, but just if it's a shitty movie, I'm gonna call you out for it being shitty despite what you're trying to do. Like, you know, I saw for example, like the Cowboy Bebop live action just came out like a month ago or whatever, and I like it. It's not that bad. I love that they chose, I think, what was his name? Not Raymond Chow, but Harold and Kumar. Damn it, I think it's Raymond Chow. But, you know, the guy who played Harold in Harold and Kumar, like, he's an awesome Spike. You know, he's totally who I would think is Spike, you know? And then it's like, they got that black dude who I don't know from anything else to be Jet, and I always saw Jet as being black, and I was like, that's fucking cool, that's good. And like the CGI is amazing, and the set pieces are great, and the costumes are on par, and like, you know, it's not the best live action contribution, but it's not bad either, you know, like, it's not as bad as everyone's making it out to be. It's not like Super Mario Brothers the movie bad. But, you know, it's just, like, you know, one thing I didn't like is that Faye Valentine in it is this fat, and she's not even that fat, but compared to the character, she's very fat. Like, she's chubby, and she doesn't wear sexy clothes at all. And the actress is just, like, a bad portrayal, you know? Like, with Spike's kind of like, he's a jerk, and he's got humor, and he's charming, you know? And, like, Jet's, like, a strong, kind of, like, you know, silent, I can blow off steam every now and again, like ex-cop, you know, like those actors played him really well. But it's just like the woman who plays Faye, like, her character is just so fucking annoying, and she's just a complete, like, it's too different from the manga. And on top of that, like, Faye, like, you know, they were like, well, it's like feminism, we're bringing it back, and I'm like, dude, Faye was skinny and she dressed sexy because she, like, the character, like, she didn't like fitting in with everybody. She wanted to stand out, and she knew that she could control men and everything by dressing sexy. Like, there was power in her sexiness. There was, like, feminism in her sexiness, and they completely just threw it out the window. And then it gets me down this, like, road, this whirlpool of, like, oh man, like, how everything's different now. Like, you know, I remember, God, I don't know how old I was, but I remember, like, seeing Resident Evil, the movie, for the first time, and seeing, like, Mila Djokovic or whatever the fuck her name is, like, from Fifth Element, and she's got, like, you know, you can see her, like, naked, and you can see her bush for, like, a split second in that movie, and I was like, oh my god, this is the first time I've seen naked vagina on a screen or whatever. But it's like, now, like, there must be unions or something, but it's like, you know, like, when was the last time you saw full-on nudity in a movie, you know? When was the last time you saw something completely gory in a movie? And it's like, well, you know, it makes sense. It makes sense, because, like, everything's about everything's about money now, right? Everything's about maximizing profits as much as possible. So when you see somebody, or, like, when you see a brand, they're like, what kind of character can we make for this character to make it more appealing to the bigger masses so that more people will buy our shit? Like, that's all they think about. They don't think about the art. They don't think about the quality. They just think about, like, okay, how can we make a quick buck? And I mean, to be fair, Japan's not any different, you know? Japan, like, that movie I watched today, the actors, for the most part, all of them sucked. And they were just models that they were, you know, probably sucked some director's dick to get that job. They have, like, no acting skill. But they look nice. And, you know, people will come to see the movie just to see these pretty Japanese people. So it's like, that sucks, but I understand why. But, you know, it's just like, you know, seeing this, like, it's just, like, growing up, you know, you'd see these older people and they're like, it sucks getting old. And you're like, why, Grandpa? Like, it's pretty cool, you know? Like, I keep getting older and things just keep getting better for me, you know? I can drink alcohol legally and, you know, I can watch rated R movies now and I can, like, go do stuff and I'm an adult legally, technically, you know? And, but then it's like, then you just realize, like, all that stuff that you liked growing up is slowly disappearing, you know? Like, all the kind of, like, freedom and gore or, like, editing and like, it feels like, you know, not to shit on, not to like completely ignore that there were some shitty ass movies or cartoons or whatever, but it's just like, and not to ignore that there were political issues or whatever, but you know, there's it feels like shit's just so different now, you know? You got fucking like it's just like mm. You know, like, for example, it's like, I don't know. I mean, like, the whole, like, country being split up, you know, I really hate that, you know? It's like, before, when Trump was president, sure, he was an asshole and he did a lot of stuff I didn't agree with, but everybody jumped on any fucking little word he said, and they made a huge fucking sports day out of it, you know? They made a huge deal about it. And then you get fucking Biden in there. The guy can't talk. The guy can't fucking talk. And, you know, like just the other day, he called somebody, he's like, that guy's my favorite Negro. And it's like, what? And like CNN, MSNBC, like all these big companies, they said nothing. They mentioned nothing about it, you know? And I'm like, what the fuck? If it was Trump, you guys would have had a field day. You guys would have carried that on for months and months. And it's like, you know what? Which one has the better overall political policy? I have no idea. I'm not a fucking political researcher, but I know it's just, you want to know how to get me to vote for somebody who isn't you? Be a fucking huge hypocrite, you know? Be a huge hypocrite and have a lot of people like you just fucking agree with your hypocrisy. That'll make me just choose the other side automatically. Even if they don't agree fundamentally with what I believe in. Just because you're playing dirty, and I don't want to vote for somebody who's playing dirty. But I mean, who am I joking? Who am I kidding? I don't even fucking vote. Voting is for nerds. I'm gonna stay home and get trashed off Listerine. You guys get bonus points if you know what TV show that's from. But yeah, man, I fucking hate it. I don't like it, and you know, it's just like, God, I was reading the fucking news today. Or I was scrolling through Twitter or something, right? And I see this 71-year-old like Chinese man gets gunned down in Chicago. And you just see it and it's just sad. Like, you know, you see this old guy. They say that he fucking like he immigrated from, I think he was Chinese or Vietnamese, but he immigrated to America like 40, 50 years ago. Had a family. He has grandkids. He was a business owner, a taxpayer. And these fucking black dudes just came out of nowhere and shot him for no reason. He's just walking down the street by himself, being an old man. These guys go up to him, shoot him. He falls to the ground. He's begging for his life, and they just shoot him even more. And it's like the news is like 2 armed men or whatever in the car or whatever shot this guy. And I'm like, okay, well, hey, you know what? Like that's fair. Like, you know, despite their physical attributes, I have no idea if they're black, but you know. Like, obviously, like, you see their hand, like, you know, their wrist, when he's, like, shooting or whatever, and it's obviously a black dude, though, you know, like, I didn't see the face, but it's a black dude, and it's just, like, I'm like, oh, okay, well, whatever, you know, like, being the black is not that big a deal, but then it's, like, this kid who did a school shooting or whatever, they purposely point out that this kid is white, you know, he's a white devil, and, you know, it's so funny because, like, what is it? Like, Louis C.K. had a joke about this, right? Like, you know, that, like, you know, white people aren't going to go from, like, number 1 to number 2. We're gonna fall down to number 5, and we're just going to get ass fucked, you know? We're just going to get raped. And, you know, you got to remember, I'm only half white. Despite what I look like, I'm only half white. And, I don't know if I'm lucky because of that or what, but, you know, yeah, and it's just like, but I guess I was lucky to grow up with this pigment or whatever, because people never assumed I was black, but I never saw being part black as a bad thing, you know? Like my dad's side of the family, everyone's like very light brown. We have some dark brown people, but you know, but it's like I never really saw that as like a bad thing or whatever, you know? It's like, yeah, fuck it, you know? But it's just like America, like I see school shooters and I'm like, school shooting is bad, you know? Obviously it's not good, and you know, like we should punish everybody. And I really do like how, I think it was this kid in Michigan who did the school shooting, and you know, he like they prosecuted his parents because they bought the gun and they knew he was dangerous. They knew that he was going to do something, and they still bought a gun for him despite knowing what he was capable of, you know? And of course they fled when the cops were like, we think we're going to charge them for those murders, you know, because they contributed. And I'm totally for that, you know? I'm totally for that. But guess what? You know, it's like when you saw, like literally like a month or two before that, a black school shooter, very rich kid, you know, he didn't kill anyone, but he shot 4 people in his school. And the kid got let out on bail, you know? And there's that guy. This guy, he killed kids, man. He drove through a street in Wisconsin and he fucking killed kids. Like killing an old man in Chicago who's 71 is one thing. He already lived his life. But this fucking piece of shit who had been arrested so many times and just let out, he ran over some fucking kids, man. You know? And they let him out on bail. They let the piece of shit out on bail. And on top of that, there were groups. There were like, I think his bail was like $25,000 or something. There were these groups that were like, yeah, man, fuck the white man. You know what? You're innocent, bro. And like, they let him out. They let him out, you know? They got him out of jail. You know? And it's just like, dude, come on. Like, I don't know. I know that like only the negative shit shows up in the news. So like, we can only gauge what happens negatively. But it's just like, the older I get, the more evil I see in this world, and the more I hate America, you know? It's like, America is just like, dude, like, they handled the pandemic so shittily. You know, like in Japan, I'm so lucky. Everyone wears a mask. They're very hygienic. You know, they figured out a system to make this shit work, you know? But in you know, in America, everything's just lazily put together. Nobody trusts anybody. And, you know, somebody's pitching Americans against Americans, you know? And they're pushing this stupid woke bullshit that doesn't need to be there, you know? It doesn't need to be there. Like, there are, like, you know, like Nip Tuck. Nip Tuck was a TV show I watched. They had a trans character that was there a bunch of times. And I really liked that character, you know? And it's just like, well, you make it's just, you're welcome to make whatever you want, but when it's just a shittily made movie, but you're like, hey, that's anti-trans or that's anti-racist or whatever, I'm like, no, dude, like, your movie sucks, just get over it, you know? And then, like, you get canceled. And it's just like, it makes me sad because I'm like, that's not a country I want to live in. That's not a country I want to be associated with, you know? These people, they have mentally unstable, crazy people running these countries. And letting mentally unstable, crazy people just get away with fucking murder, you know? And it's just sad. Like, what happened to the America that I knew growing up, you know? And I don't know. It just makes me happy every day that I'm here. And it makes me sad for any of you guys who are living in situations like America, you know? It's just like, you can admit when stuff is shitty and you can acknowledge it. There's nothing wrong with that. But just being like, what are you talking about? Nothing bad's going on. Are you crazy? You know, it's just, it's nuts. But at least the positive side of this is that all those rich people who keep lecturing all of us on how to live and, you know, who to respect and what to do, I mean, luckily those people those bad people they're trying to protect are breaking into their homes in Beverly Hills and stealing Louis Vuitton stuff. So, it's good. Yeah, eat the rich, literally. But I don't know what this rant was about necessarily. I just kind of wanted to vent about stuff that was making me feel bad. But this is the thing though. When you get older, you realize I'm gonna feel bad for today. I'll let myself feel bad for today, but tomorrow I'm gonna feel good. It'll pass. Whatever this feeling is, it'll pass, and tomorrow will be another day, and it'll probably be a good one. So anyway, guys, I'm Papa Tikyo. This has been Tikyo Rants. Whew, I'm home to my sponsor. And anyway, I just want to say thank you guys for always checking out the videos and supporting my shit. And yeah, if you made it this far, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and subscribe bell to get notified next time another video of this comes out. I love the little lighty up shoes. And anyway, guys, always again, thanks for the support. And if you made it this far, write down smoke weed every day and whatever. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you later. Peace outside. Boom.